Hello YouTube, welcome back to a drenched nutkin farm. It looks like La Niña has finally made good. We've had about 90 millimeters of rain in the last 24 hours, and according to the Bureau, the northern rivers is going to get fairly heavily hit over the next few days, and this is December 2020. Now, October and November were below average for rainfall despite the predictions of a wet spring. December is likely to now be above average, although it's one of the wetter months of the year traditionally, and depending where you are, the average is, around about 150 mils for the month. The dam's filling up down in the distance and the tanks are filling up. I think the tenants' tanks are already full and overflowing from the rain we've had. Nothing too heavy, and nothing really drenching in terms of heavy downpour that is too much for gutters. So that is encouraging. I was hoping to bring this video from the trees in a patch when it wasn't so rainy, but I got in there and it started coming down again and I got absolutely saturated. But I can report the trees and the soil around them are still absorbing water beautifully, in fact, and it's quite good to see. I mean, the soil really did have some dry parts to it, and I could tell when I was doing some last minute mowing by the amount of dust that was being thrown up. It was a good it needed a good drink. It's got a good drink. And now it depends on whether we get any excess of moisture, and that's going to be the big question. Now, the other question, I suppose, more relevant to growing macadamias is this any good for the current season? And the answer is yes. Nuts are still sizing on the tree, and water that you give them now will go into the nut size. You need to get that happening before you have what's called shell hardening, because once the shell hardens inside that husk, you can't fit any more nut into it, and that's the size nut you're going to get. I think there will be some penalty from October and November's low rainfall. That's really when you get bumper crops, when you get a nice wet October. But still, not bad for this year's crop. And of course the health of the trees, the health of the baby trees will all be super impacted by that. One of the things I did manage to do just before all the wet was get some more fertilizer on the babies. I'm just going to come through and show you what I fed them. The place I got this was in Ace Olsen at Bangalow. Never been there before. They're a good farmer's shop, and it sort of reminds you sometimes that, we're all used to going to Bunnings for basic things like fertiliser, but you can actually get cheaper than Bunnings on products that Bunnings don't stock, but they're products that are similar. Now, on the left I've got Organic Life, combination of manure, blood and bone, seaweed, bone meal, zeolite, which is a soil softener based on minerals, but on a poultry manure base. Got some rock phosphate in there. I put that Organic Life on my babies in block 1. That's because those particular babies, that particular block has a decent pH, and you just need to supplement. And I thought, well, in advance of the rain, put the pellets on, they'll soften with the rain and start releasing their food. On the right, I found Lime Impact. Now, that's a product I've been excited about for a little bit because it mixes some superfine lime, which is very good for adjusting soil pH, with the chook manure base, but it has a couple of really well-selected additives, including boron, because calcium and boron work together to transport nutrients from the root system up to the leaves of the plant. So calcium uptake in any plant is great anyway. The additional calcium here will raise the pH of the soil in my MCT1 block, which is on fairly acid soil. So I put that, 25 kilos of that, over my 25 trees, so roughly a kilo a tree, but I can tell you I wasn't measuring accurately. And almost the same with the organic life on the new babies. That's getting rained in now, and with any luck it won't wash, because pellets don't wash too easily. They tend to sort of just go soft and break up. Anyway, that's my update. Day one of the big wet. There's a few more to come, but all of a sudden it's changed from a dryish season to a fairly wet one. And I want to see what that pans out to do in the long run. Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon. Bye.